Okay. Hello.
We got a nice face beat today. We prepared.
I see that. All prettied up.
Yes,
Yeah.
like all. Yes,
I love your style, hey, with the big hair. It's beautiful.
thank you. The head wrap.
And it was always so cute because you're like so small and then you got big hair. It was just like the nicest thing.
Oh, the lollipop thing from PMB. That was life. Like big hair, small everything. Thank you for the ISBN thingamabobs.
Oh, you
So
better, you
I
better
just
welcome.
submit my stuff, right? And then they're just gonna let me know because it
Yes,
says something
email.
about 4.
Say again.
Oh yes, it says something about 4 days that it takes a while to get it.
Yeah, but I get mine in like a day or two. I think
That's lovely.
they're just covering themselves. You email her and you give her all those details, your address and all that, and then they email you back. And then what they need is for you to send the book to some libraries across the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm excited.
Yeah, and you can do as many as you want. Like I want to do 2 or 3 next year because I've got like 6 books sitting around.
Yes. And then the printing situation, you just print on your own or they help you with that?
No, you're on your own. So I have printers that I work with, and that's a beautiful relationship because like the more books you print, the cheaper it gets.
That's good money. Oh, but anyway, we'll talk about that outside the interview. This is your interview.
Yeah. Thank you for coming back and for the enthusiasm and for wanting to continue. Appreciate that. Yeah, I watched our other interview and I enjoyed it. I hope you like it too.
Yes, I like it.
Yeah.
Except that I didn't have makeup on, so I think it could have been better.
So yeah. Yeah. So I don't know what did you want to expand on more, because we're talking about mostly gender dynamics. Or just to remind everybody, this is Bruja Thembi. We had our first conversation. This is a continuation. She's a creative, she's a medium. She does healing through cards and other mediums, but she'll break it down for you more. And also, when you see my bio, it usually says an oral history scribe that deals with gender dynamics. That's her. She helped me write that some years ago. So she's always with me. But just okay, let's talk about what you do. I want to go more into your business, your practice. What do you call it?
Yes. So energy healing using tarot is some calibration work. So it's literally alchemy. We've had alchemy in the Black space, the Black society, for years and years. We just call it Ubzangoma. We call a diviner a Sangoma. So it's just now that we are coming out, coloring outside of the lines, and we're expanding on that. So in the cultural context, a card reader is actually a bone thrower, because what we do is we divine. Yes. So the same principalities, because a person who throws bones is trusting spirits to come forward to communicate what is happening. So even with cards, as you shuffle, you're accessing, you're trancing. And then the messages that come out are guided by the person, the querent, who is the person who you are reading. So people come to me for readings. I have I would say it's 3 services, because the first one is an audio file. So this audio file is like a 20-minute audio file. I use the person's names, but I mean, it's a very mathematical alchemy when you think about it, because even the process of the cards, although I am using cosmology and astrology, but there's a lot of mathematics that goes in there, because that's how you also measure and quantify energy. Because one thing I've learned and one thing I've noticed is that every single thing that reflects in our physical life, everything that reflects in the physical spectrum, it has an equivalent in the spirit. So once we understand what's happening energetically, and we adjust that, like that change, it reflects also in our physical environment. That's what tarot readings really do. Energy healing is just to help you line up with that which you want to bring into your life, because when you radiate abundance, you invite abundance in. So there
Yes.
are a lot of people that are having challenges because of the stuff that they are radiating energetic. So a lot of the imbalances that we see have a result. They have a cause in the spiritual.
Ah, wow.
Mm.
This sounds like really valuable work that, I mean, for example, all of us need some sort of healing, and then we don't always access the type of healing we need, depending where you are in the world, you know? And I love the fact that you're saying there's a common thread. It's just a language, really. The cards are a language, the bones are a language. And so how important do you feel it is, for example, in the world where we talk about mental health issues and psychology, see a psychologist, see a psychiatrist, and then there's this other spiritual healing now, because there's mental and there's the spiritual side. Do you feel like they're related? It's the same thing?
Yeah, it is so. I like the fact that you mentioned that, because I was having a conversation with a client earlier on. So this is, she was basically saying, oh my God, I just come back from therapy. I'll send you a screenshot because I thought this was so crazy. She's like, I just saw my therapist, and she's like, wow, what happened to you? Like, your anxiety has changed. All of that stuff has shifted. And I was like, yes, because you've been doing spiritual work on yourself. So now, even with the strain of psychology, when you think about it, like mental health, it has a spiritual, it also has its own spirituality. Like there is a metaphysics to anything that is psychologically imbalanced, right? So whenever we're doing energy work on ourselves, we're also doing mental work on ourselves. So the problem right now is that we've separated these things. Like, psychology and spirituality should actually not be isolated, because everything that is physical, it has a metaphysical equivalent. So now we've isolated these things and fragmented them into smaller parts, but they all come together. Because even with my own journey, I remember before I even started all of the spiritual work, I was a person who struggled with mental health. I had many, many mental health afflictions, and I thought that, oh, this has nothing to do with anything. It's just my mind. But things are connected. Everything is connected to everything. Let me give you an example. So one example I can think of is, so what a lot of people struggle with is the relationship with money. So a woman who has a problem with feeling supported in her life, feeling supported by her father, feeling supported by her brothers, feeling supported by the family, that woman will have a terrible relationship with money, because the energy of money is support. So now that's basically what you're radiating. You're radiating lack and lack and lack. When we go down when we start unpacking a lot of her own reflections, we start seeing that the actual problem here is not money, it is support. Not feeling supported. Yes. So now that just goes back to that thing of things are actually not separated. We separate them, but in the actual space, these the mental and the energetic, which is the emotional, are not separate. We have two electromagnetic fields in the body, right? We have the mind, that's the first electromagnetic field, and then we have the heart, actually, which is the sacral center, but I'm just going to use the heart because people get that.
Yes.
So now with the heart, meaning that when I'm thinking and I'm feeling, I'm magnetizing, right? So whatever's happening with my beliefs is that I am magnetizing. So when my mind is not in a good state, I'm not radiating the right stuff. It's not possible.
Okay, so the heart is also like probably the gut, right? The gut feeling, the gut instinct. Is that related?
The heart is energy, your feelings, right? So this is your emotion, right? So the gut and the gut and the intuition, I'll put it, that will be more your seventh sense, right? Because we have 5 senses in the physical body: see, smell, touch, hear, feel. That's the 5. And then the 6th sense, that's where the mind is. Like your perception, understanding of the world, that's where the mind is. And then 7th This is now your intuition, which is a little bit higher, but you can see that the one that's gluing the physical space and the metaphysical one is the mind. So it literally is like the mediator.
I love that. Wow, that makes a lot of sense. Because sometimes the mind will control and maybe make a mistake, actually telling you what not to, don't believe that stuff you're hearing. And yet you need that stuff you're hearing from either intuition or from, you know, your heart, whatever. Sounds like, okay, I can see that. Sorry, I have my own ways of justifying things and explaining things. And
yes, don't worry, I'm just getting comfortable because
that's fine. It's just to see I'm on the right track. So it's like the mind is like heart, wait, or intuition, wait. You know, we're on the road now. Don't let us get off the road. and yet the intuition is saying we can fly, or the heart is saying we can fly, and the mind is like, this is what I know.
Yes, and that's where conditioning kind of destroys, or that's where conditioning becomes destructive. Because everything that we understand and everything that we have in our minds is a result of our conditioning.
Right.
And when I say conditioning, I'm like the things that we have learned and the things that we've internalized. So sometimes it becomes a bit of a barrier, because if I've learned a belief that is harmful to me, it's gonna get in the way of me materializing the things that I actually want in my life, because there's a belief that's standing in the way of that. I hope that's making sense.
Yeah, I mean,
so then the mind is like the gatekeeper of what flows in and what flows out. People think that sometimes your enemy is external, like, you know, conspiracy theories will tell you that your enemy is out there, but sometimes our enemy is
absolutely, most of the time, you know, because even when you have an external enemy, your internal enemy is saying, oh no, they're too big for me, you know. I have this thing that I enjoy doing now. It's like a motivational thing. You know how some people, I wonder what yours is, but have a fear of a rat or a spider or snakes, something smaller than you physically, but you're afraid of it. So I always tell people, what if the problems you have are scared of you? Like, this little thing here will bite me, you know? Because we're scared of a whole lot of little things. If a snake came through right now, you jump on your bed. Some are scared of geckos. You don't even see their teeth, you know. But I'm saying that that's where the internal enemy is, because you get told this thing is so dangerous, and then you crumble. Maybe you could have just walked it through. Wouldn't have been a struggle, and you'd be at your goal, at your destination, at your desired place. But you let your mind stop you, and that's that conditioning again, where we're told you cannot do this. Only those people can do that. Yeah, but I enjoy that thing you said about I saw one of your posts where you talked about how we all have this ability that you have. It's just about tuning into it. Because I read a book called Conversations with God, and it's the same thing. God talks to all of us in different ways. You know, I'll think of Thembi, and I'll see a note she wrote, or I'll get a call from her, or I'll just see a post. But I thought of her like yesterday. That's no coincidence, you know.
It's not.
Yeah. So I love the fact that it's really languages. You know, we all one, we all the same. We all have this. That's how I believe anyway. We all have these different languages, because in Zulu, in Swahili, in Russian, there's I love you, there's I'm sad, there's I'm happy, you know, and it's just but if I go to Russia now, I won't understand when they say they're happy or sad. So I'm just saying I respect what you do, you know, just officially say it, like I really, it has value, and I'm on the list of people who will just check it out, just check it out, and
just experience it, line up. I guess the thing that I think is very magical right now for me is just seeing that, wow, I can actually live off of this. I didn't think that I didn't know that when I was starting out. I was just doing it because here I am. I was a girl who's always been fascinated with the esoteric stuff. I've always been studying, doing the whole alchemy spaces, but it was never something that I wanted to provide as a service or anything. And I got to a point where I was doing readings for people, and there's this man, Seth Godin,
Oh
a
yeah.
marketer.
You introduced me to him.
Yeah, so he would talk about these really wonderful marketing concepts of the marketing in itself is the actual whatever it is that you do. And I feel like I've really seen some of the concepts that he was talking about, because I did not have a big marketing budget or anything. I would literally, I saw 5 clients turning into 10, turning into 20, turning into 50 and 100. And it wasn't because I was marketing and promoting so much, but it was because people were telling each other, meaning that if you've created something that is that service that is so remarkable and it is providing real value that people can see in their lives, that person cannot help but tell their friend.
Absolutely.
That, oh, I just experienced this. It was like that. And whoa, it was so accurate like this. So every single client has given, like, you'd find that they come back with their success stories. And I was like, I want to share those success stories because it gives other people hope. When someone is going through something and they're hearing someone's success story of how, hey, I started doing some energy work on myself and look at the results I saw in my life. That gives someone hope to say, hey, actually, I could be down in the dumps, but it's not over yet. I can still fix everything. I can still line up with the right stuff, and I could still radiate properly and get the stuff that I need. So I think it has been so exciting just seeing that process of it going from it being an idea and things that I was doing in my friend's life with friends and family, and it's turning into something that has become, it's a dream.
Yeah, I know.
It is an
Speaking of Seth Godin, because there's 2 things that remind me of you. One is obviously the purple cow. You've always been very attractive. You're just yourself, you know, like you don't fit in. And that's, I mean, I feel like I'm like that as well, whether appearance wise or just the way I move. You like that. You still have long nails, right? I used to love your long nail. There you go.
These now are like, these are not my real ones though. This is acrylic.
Oh, okay.
So okay. 2 have fell out. Like this fell out and that one fell out. I still have long nails, but these ones aren't my actual nails. These are put on.
Yeah, because you had the long nails and the hair. Like this little person with the big, the big hair and the big nails. But also, you're talking about what he talks about. I think it's him who says the first 10 clients. You know?
Yeah.
First 10. And the first 10, they'll tell you if you're on the right track. And that's why I put in my book.
That. I love that so much. He was like, once you have your product or you have your anything, you give it to the first 10 people. Yeah. And if it's any good, then that 10 will turn into 100, will turn into so and so. Even then, I've wanted to apply that stuff musically. It didn't work as much as it is working with this, because I think people also just appreciate that one-on-one thing.
Absolutely.
That one-on-one. Yes, the sessions. I don't do them visually though. I don't do video calls because visuals are very distracting. Yeah. So I want people to actually listen and to engage, so that, because now we're doing, this is intuitive work, right? So whatever comes out for you, you need to be able to engage it and ask the right questions. Ask the right questions, and we unpack, so you understand and feel like, yeah, let's unpack that. And people can't do that when we're doing this. Visuals are very distracting. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Wow. That's important, because it's you know, even going to a doctor, you need to talk. That's the first thing you've got to do. And now when you're talking about these things no one really talks about, but that exists, like your energy, your feelings. I mean, I'm on this Woman Love 365 thing because I believe in speaking positive. So I could have said stop abusing women or whatever, but I'm saying love them every day. Your gogo, your sister, your niece, you know. I spoke to my other friend about how women work nonstop from like age 4 or 5 when you can wash dishes. You're working until you're a grandmother, taking care of great-grandchildren. But the point is, I'm sorry, I'm digressing. I'm saying that the miseducation, the conditioning is what leads to these imbalances with the male-female relationship, and a lot of it affects our energy. And it's these things, instincts. You know, this is not right, this is wrong, but you've been told it's supposed to be. I mean, imagine a man who cannot cook and clean, and now he's getting out of home. You know, he'll be reluctant. He's gonna stay with mommy until he gets married. So he has someone who will cook for him, or move in with somebody. He can't survive on his own. He knows he cannot survive on his own, but he's holding on to this thing that I will not cook, I will not clean, I will not change diapers. What if something happens to your wife? You know? So I think that there's a voice telling you, come on now, you can do more. You are more. This is good for you, whatever the conditioning. So my point is, my question, I guess, is how do you reconcile your work with what the men need to do? Because the men, I think we are off balance. We're too violent in South Africa. And we're sensitive. You know, that day I tell you did something I don't like, we don't talk again, because I'm sensitive, I'm hurt. You know, you just told me don't walk in my house with a hat on, and now you just upset, and now we're gonna be enemies eventually. What's up with that?
It's so strange because although 80% of the clients are women, but there are men who come through and they're like, yes, we want to do some internal work on ourselves, set us up, hook us up with the right things. So that has been exciting because there is no gender. How can I put this? Gender is like a physical construct. Energetically, you are either one of three things. I don't want to get into it because then I know people will dispute this a lot.
Just say them quickly.
Number one, you have an energy body.
Right.
We all have energy bodies, right? And we all have things that we've internalized and things that we've learned and things that we need to unlearn. So I always put it down to that, because as much as many of them come in because their wives came in and now they're like, yeah, you need to go in and do this. And I think it's because they see the effect coming from the wife, that, wow, the wife has changed so much. What are you doing? Yeah. And then she's like, yeah, I used to know this girl who does this, that, and then he wants to try it out too. So I'm not really sure what that means with what is it that men need to do in terms of like healing work, or what is it that they need to do in terms of support? What is that question?
Okay, I think my question is, you've corrected me. I think it's all human beings. It's just people have something that makes them not calm, not at peace. Restless souls. There's so many restless people who sometimes they just can't sit in silence next to you. They have to say something because they're just anxious, you know? But they're easily provoked. We are easily provoked. I'm taking this to larger society now. I'm saying basically, your service is not for people with thorough problems. It's for everybody, and it's regular things that we all have that we just could like sort out. You know, like an allergy. So I'm saying, what is it that makes us so unsettled? And for example, you would say, okay, Brian, I'm saying that the people that seem a lot of not at ease, worked up, nervous, anxiety, need this from my field of healing.
Okay, yes, that's wonderful. I like that. So now what I do is think of a personal trainer. So a personal trainer is someone who is helping you get in shape, right? Physically, getting your body in shape. Like, yeah, I want more abs, I want more biceps, I want more this. And then they help you get that done, right? Your health. And then a dietitian is someone who focuses on your health. So an alchemist is someone who helps you get your energy in shape. So when your energy is not in shape, and that body is not balanced, you are restless, you are anxious, you've got mental problems, you are unhappy, you are stressed out. All of those symptoms are all signs of the fact that metaphysically I'm not balanced. So now people have this misconception that, actually, let me sit up for this one because I feel like this is important. This is very, very important. I need to phrase it correctly.
Okay.
People have this conception that I am going to go to see a diviner or a healer when I have problems, right? That paradigm also exists in the more mainstream healing space, that I don't need to go to a doctor. The only reason I go to a doctor is because I have a problem.
Mm.
This paradigm is the reason why we are falling apart as humans. I'm going to take it back to the gym context. You don't go to the gym when you're dying and when your weight is so bad. If you work at it and you're like, listen, I actually want to maintain the health that I've got, and you maintain your health and keep going, you make sure that the sickness never finds you. That's the problem. Because sickness, we identify that in the energy space as imbalance. Imbalance forms up over time, like debris forms up over time. When you've got teeth cavity, you don't have a problem. You ate something yesterday, now your teeth are giving you problems. It was a build up, 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 a build up. Now the build up has formed to this point, and now you want someone to come in to actually help you, but you allowed for that build up to get to that point. So the same way that people take care of their physical bodies is the same way that they should take care of their metaphysical ones. Meaning that you can't now come in to you want to do damage control, but you're dying. Who's going to help you? You brush your teeth every day, right? No one's telling you that, yes, you brush your teeth every day. That is an act of maintenance. But you still go to a dentist. Are you expecting that dentist to brush your teeth for you every day?
I see. Oh, I like that. I like that. I used to do reflexology. I mean, I was a client. My friend did reflex treatment, and it was the same kind of concept where your body just needs to be ironed out, so to speak. But it was energetic as well because it was aromatherapy. But the general idea is that you it's like servicing a car, you know, or refilling the petrol in a car, or oil, you know.
Yes. So I like the fact that you say that, because the person did not wait to get to a dire position before they did something about their health. It goes back to that positive mindset thing, that when we're in these positive spaces, we are trying to maintain the good health that we already have, right? So we're building on top of that good health. We are not sitting back and saying, oh, okay, there's no problem, I'll just wait to get sick before I do something about it. But you got sick because of that neglect. You're allowing certain habits to build up and build up. Mental health is the same. There will be one faulty belief or one harmful thing that you accept, and then it builds up over years. It builds up, and then it builds up, and it builds up until it becomes a massive problem. Now the doctors, when you think of what doctors and psychologists and all of them have been trained into crisis management, crisis control. No one's really in spaces where they are really taking care of the good health that is there so that it grows. It's more of, now that there's a problem, what can we do about it? Let's maintain, let's regulate. And that, I feel, is a problem that I have with mainstream schools of thought, right? When there is a problem, this issue is not resolved. It is controlled and contained and regulated. Now we're in control of the problem, but we did not heal it. We just made it manageable. Because if you're taking a person with mental problems and you take this person to a psychiatric facility, you're not healing that person. You're containing the issue.
Right.
So that doesn't help anyone. So even if I get into crisis management to say, okay, the problem has happened, now I'm just managing the problem, I'm not helping you in any way. I'm not helping you. I'm just managing it, keeping it manageable. Yeah, now I've got control of it, and now it's in a nice little jar, and I can say, yes, I managed to conquer this. I conquered it. Right. But that doesn't get rid of the problem.
Yeah.
It doesn't heal it.
And that's not life. That's not living. Wow. So again, with if there's a way to do it, you have Women's Day, you have 16 days of activism. There's a thing there that is lacking in our society where we just don't get along. I mean, you've spoken about it. If you want to expand on it, just a recommendation, some recommendations linking to what you do, your form of healing, because again, I think we are not healed. Men and women have an issue with each other, especially Black men and Black women. You know, Maya Angelou said her message is, please forgive each other. Black woman, forgive the Black man for not protecting you from slavery, from centuries of oppression. As a Black woman, as a Black family, he couldn't protect you because the forces were too powerful. Forgive him. Black man, forgive your woman for not supporting you, for whatever you feel like she wasn't there for you, for our resentment towards you, for not protecting her. You know, she didn't elaborate, but I always think of the continent of Africa. We have everything, but we're so weak. You know, we're physically intimidating. We have everything. We're beautiful, but we feel ugly. We feel weak. They come and take whatever they want out of here. You know, sorry to continue again. There was a time when she met Tupac. She didn't know who he was. Maya Angelou now. She made a movie, Poetic Justice, with Janet Jackson. Says, I see this young man fighting and he's cussing. And I said, young man, brother, I don't know, he did blah, 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 blah. She's like, brother, calm down. Do you know how valuable you are? Do you know how many people died so you could be here? And she gets graphic. She says, do you know how many people survived in the slave ships in their own waste, in their own, she says, menstrual flow and feces, surviving next to people who didn't make it, who died, just so you could be here. You are very valuable. You are valuable. She says they broke down and cried, you know? And she's saying the same thing to us, like you are valuable, all the stuff, your people of your color, anyone actually, every race, but you've survived such a lot, you are valuable, but you don't treat yourself like you're valuable. And I feel like we don't treat each other like we're valuable, especially as Black people. And I just feel like there's something there with you, with what you do, but it can be just knowledge, you know, but talk to us, talk to us.
I think the thing there is just love, self-love, because that's the thing that kills us. When you've captured a person's mind, you've captured everything. Meaning that my being physically intimidating as a man, but being afraid of somebody who isn't, means that I've been captured mentally. I've been made to believe that I'm lesser than, and I've been made to believe that I'm not enough. So how we're going to regain everything is not it's not going to be economical. It's not going to be physical, like conquering other nations. It's going to be first conquering what's up there. So when I say relearning self-love, I want to move this into I want to give an analogy in the school system. So right now, when I say 4 times 4, you know exactly what it is. You don't even need to think of the answer. And this is because this thing has been so drilled into us. So the same way that we learned times tables in school is the same way that every other thing has been internalized into us. So whenever we speak about unlearning self-hate, because the reason that I'm going to treat a Black man unjust, and the reason a Black man is going to treat me unjust is because I don't love myself and he doesn't love himself. So how can I actually love him when I don't love myself and I can't love him? I don't have the capacity to. So these are things that have been internalized into us, like maybe 40 years of your life, just knowing that as a Black person, I'm lesser than, I'm down the totem pole in society. I am income-wise, I'm at the very, very bottom. So these are things that need to be unlearned so that collectively we can recover ourselves. And this is going to happen mentally. It's going to happen mentally. So people usually like saying, oh, we need to unlearn this. Oh, we need to normalize this. Oh, now we need to get practical about it, right? We need to get practical about it. So one of the things that I actually give to a lot of my clients is they need to have an internalizing plan, right? So this is something as simple as having 10 minutes in the morning. You're waking up 10 minutes early so that you can actually ruminate and ruminate, because there are 4 stages to successfully internalizing anything. no matter what it is, right? The first stage is effort. So I am efforting. I am doing this. I have my list of times tables. I'm going through 1 times 1, 2 times 2, to all of that. And I'm doing that daily so that it can get into my system. So this is daily effort. Number 2 is effort. Number 2 is now we're moving this into routine. It needs to get into routine. So it needs to be something that I'm doing every single day. You're brushing your teeth every day, even on days where you don't feel like it, but you're going to have to brush your teeth, because for anything to move from it being a mechanical thing to it being an automatic thing, you need to have repetition there. You need to have repetition.
Right.
And this is, I think, the hardest phase, even for clients, because this is when the old patterns come in and like, I really don't feel like doing this. I feel like I'm doing the same thing every day. Oh, this is not really working out for me. I don't really know if this is for me. It's because your old paradigms are coming in to fight you. They're like, we don't know what this is. We've learned, we know things this way. And then now there's this new thing coming in. We don't know what it is. So you need to keep going. The final stage is then how you know that something has been successfully imprinted. The first one was effort. The second one is repetition. Third one, that repetition now becomes a habit, right? Daily routine becomes part of your routine. The fourth step is now it becomes automatic. So you know that something is successfully internalized because now you do it automatically. You don't need to remember it. A person who has learned to play the piano, they can play it in their sleep, meaning that now you do it without conscious effort. The first 2 stages are conscious processes. The daily effort and the repetition is something I'm doing consciously. But the routine and the automatic, the subconscious, that is something that I'm now doing with my other mind. And this is the stage that we are needing to heal as the Black collective, because this is the state, the space that is harming us. Beliefs that we have about, because no Black person is going to tell you that they hate themselves. Many of them don't even know that they hate themselves. It's just something that we've learned and internalized without realizing we're taking it in. Subliminal messages, all of these things. We've taken it in, and now it's like when somebody tells you that you're self-hating, you're like, who, me? Self-hating? I don't know what you're talking about. But that time I'm lightening my skin, I'm straightening my hair, I'm doing all of these things that are beauty standards. But the underlying message there is actually that Black beauty in itself is not enough. It's not good enough.
Thank you.
And that person will fight you because they are not going in there saying, I'm not beautiful, that's why I'm doing it. It happens to be a subliminal thing, that is a subconscious thing. So that's why I'm saying that even with the healing, it has to happen subconsciously. It's not a conscious thing. It's not.
Yeah. That's amazing. But to get to the subconscious, you need a lot of the first 2 steps.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. You need
effort, repeat, then become.
And also just to add on to that, the, what do they call this? The actual work, like people will say, no, but this is not how other things have been internalized, but everything else in your life has been learned the very same way. There's not anything that was not repeated. Even when your parents taught you, when you learned your name, it's because you kept hearing it all over and over again. Brian. Oh, that must be me, because every time someone says Brian, they are talking to me. Nothing was ever done once, and then you remembered it and you held on to it. You're like, yeah, I caught this. So even with our minds, we have to be gentle with them. We have to be consistent with them. It has to be a daily thing, as normal as brushing your teeth. Whether you're waking up 10 minutes earlier every day to do this work, or you are sleeping a little later, because there are people that prefer night routines instead of morning ones. So I usually have clients to trial them to see which time are you most alert. Which times are you most alert? Because that's your me time. That's me and my brain time. That's my ruminating time. And many of them within 2 weeks, they start seeing differences. They start seeing changes in their lives. And that's what gives them then the confidence to say, oh, I tried it out for 2 weeks. People are treating me differently. There's one who is like, they were having relationship problems, right? And so with them, we were just internalizing, the belief that I am a priority because I treat myself like a priority. Now other people start treating me that way. I wanted her to learn how everybody around her was reflecting how she felt about herself. And I kid you not, within 2 weeks, she came back. She's like, "Oh my God, people are treating me how I want them to treat me, and I can't believe it. What did you do?" And I'm like, "What did you do? You practically applied this thing, because what's happening inside, how I feel about myself, is actually how everyone else is going to feel about you. That's fact."
You are a queen. No wonder you wear a crown. That is powerful.
Thank you.
No, I get you.
She was so happy, Brian. You should have seen her. It was like some magic just happened. And now this thing that there's nothing that you can learn. Words don't teach. It's experience that teaches. Because I had been saying this to her for the longest time, but because she hadn't put it in a practical sense, it just the brain processed that as, oh, okay, that's that spiritual mumbo jumbo again. Like, I don't know what she's saying, but it sounds really good.
Yeah.
But when she practiced it, that's when she really understood it, that, oh my God, I can't believe this. People are literally mirroring my energy back to me, and I don't understand it, because I thought that as I do these practices, it's just to make myself feel good. But my whole reality is changing. So yeah, words don't teach, experience does.
That is so frustrating. I mean, it's so frustratingly true and resonant to me, because I'm like, damn it. You know, you keep looking back at a bad relationship, you know, that maybe it hurt your confidence and you were still in it. And the sadder you felt, it's like the worse you got treated, because now you're like, what's wrong with me to be treated like this? And then you cower, and then now you're getting treated even worse, and it's not getting right, you know? And then leave that person. I've seen this happen with myself and other people. Break up with that person, and you see them after 2 months, because you worked on yourself now, you do more push-ups or whatever. You're ready for the next whatever. And they see you and they smile at you. That's where people get back together, because now that you've had time by yourself and you're loving yourself, you know, you want to not cook for you because you don't want to, so you have to cook. You get in the love you need, the nutrition you need, and you're looking good. The same person sees you and smiles at you and like, oh, hey, and maybe them too, whatever was making them ill-treat you, you know, you're not there. So they happier without you because they didn't love you anyway. So you got these two people who are in a bad relationship, seeing each other, and they're both looking beautiful because, you know, the whole vibe of them together wasn't working, and they fed off each other. And now that you're loving yourself as a single person now, you're more attractive to the same person. And sometimes it's a matter of don't go there because they go back there because they haven't done the work. It's just a little separation, and once they get back with you, it's that familiarity breeds contempt. It's back to that, oh, it's this person. It's no longer special again. So I think I hear what you're saying. Where you radiate what you...
And relationships, they will bring all your shit out. Hey. I don't want to lie. The ancestors themselves, they use relationships to actually really heal people. Because when you think about it, a relationship is a mirror. When you get into a relationship, the other person is going to be mirroring yourself back to you. What are the things I need to work on? What are the things I need to get good at? Like everything that you see in the other person that you don't like is actually a reflection on you, because the other person is constantly mirroring that. And I find that to be so much more empowering than, you know, these victim mentalities that we are sometimes drilled in, that, oh, that person was trash, that person was horrible to me, that person was this, that person was that. But because you attracted this energy in your life, it means, and you recognize that, it means that you guys mirror each other, because you can never be attracted to something that is not within. Like, you can never be attracted to someone who doesn't mirror you in some way. So every
Yeah.
single relationship in your life is very important and instrumental in your healing, because the things that you don't like in that relationship, they mirror to you what you're doing energetically.
That's amazing. You know, I was very obsessed with that one. What you don't like in other people, you know, it's also in you. And I don't know if this is arrogant or whatever, but or delusional. I worked so hard on that. I felt like I'm too good of a person now. It's like I'm now a victim, you know, from trying to be a better person and not hurt people. I just started being hurt by people. And that was like a different level I hadn't thought of. And a lot of the people that I've dealt with in my enlightened state, so to speak, it felt like I could see old me in them. That was stressful for me because I could see, oh, I used to be like that. I can polish this, but then there's the issue of who are you? How dare you tell me? What gives you the authority, Mr. Khoza, to tell me if I fix this, my life will be better? So you got people who won't listen to you, and yet you see it exactly, the destruction that you are causing to other people and yourself. You just see this person, you can predict their every step. And that becomes a stressful thing because it's like, okay, am I like this rejected messenger? Or this, you know, what's going on here? Because I've done this work and now I'm meeting people who refuse to do the work and they're around me. So have I not done the work exactly? What's going on, you know? That gives me a headache in my life.
Because you can do the work. It does happen where you've done the work, but you keep getting the reflection. That means that that work has been done mentally, but energetically it's still there. Because remember one thing, the beliefs that we have right now were not overnight. Like sometimes we expect 28 years of programming to be undone in like 2 weeks. Is that practical?
Yeah.
So meaning that if I've undone 30% of this and I still get reflections back, I feel like I've done nothing or I haven't done it correctly. But I have, it's just that I've done 30%. Now I need to keep going until it's actually 100%. But we fight ourselves, like we beat ourselves down because it's like, no, but it didn't work because A, B, C, D. It did work. You're 30% in there. You're 30% in. Yes, it's not that the work that you've done was never useless or it did not make an impact. It's just that this is like 40 years of programming we're talking about.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Just yesterday, I wrote something as one of my posts about, I was at the beach and I felt like people are like medicine sometimes, you know? And I felt like even your ex-girlfriend is medicine that needs to leave your life after you've healed, you know? Then I ended by saying that some people like chronic medication that you just need forever in your life, because that's what we're doing to each other. Just the love is healing, you know, sometimes. And yet sometimes I know that with my marriage, for example, I saw all these dreams of mine come true. I didn't feel the romantic love. I didn't feel the connection most of the time, but I felt 10 dreams come true, you know, that I had as a kid. And that was so fulfilling. And the separation might be so that we can actually find what we both really want. You know? So it's my medicine is heal that little gaping hole in me. And now the other thing that I'm looking for, I'll find, because now I've healed that little part of me. Yeah, still painful, but
it's hard. It's hard. I don't want to lie when it comes to the relationship stuff. Listen. There are people that you find that you split with this person for the longest time, but you still get triggered. You still get triggered. There are people that even don't think much about the whole healing space when it comes to the relationship space, but these are the things that mess people up the most.
Yeah.
These are the things that really mess people up the most. They don't even know who to tell. That I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling to accept that whoever chose somebody else over me. Why would they? Or how could they? Or, you know, and then sometimes when you talk about how that is a reflection of their own rejection, self-rejection, it sounds like you're talking another language because then they don't understand. We don't see what's happening with ourselves because we're in the box looking out. So many times when people are looking into the box, we're like, we don't know what you're talking about, because you're in the box looking out, so you can't even see some of your own behaviors, especially the ones that are in the subconscious, which happen automatically. You could even fight someone for telling you that, hey, you know what, you overcompensate too much, you're doing so much, you're trying too hard. Whenever you overcompensate, what you're communicating is that you don't think you're too much, you're enough. So you're constantly proving to me and trying to convince me that you're wife material. And what that tells me is that you don't think you're wife material. How can I think you're wife material? And then that person feels like, oh, all this effort that I've been making, all these things that I've been doing for you, and you're saying I'm overcompensating. And here's what happens energetically. So when a man pursues a woman, that man is in masculine spaces. That man is a masculine energy, right? He's setting up the dates. He is setting up the time. He's calling. He's this, he's that. She's like, whatever, I don't know what this is, right? Then they get into the relationship, right? He's still in the more masculine spaces, the masculine being practicality, the doer, the action taker, right? And then the feminine, which is receptivity, taking, nurturing, but very receptive, but laid back. Now, these two people are now in a relationship. And then the woman along the line, she's like, yeah, you know what? I need to prove to this person that I'm wife material, because now I want to get married. So I want to show this person that I'm enough. So in her attempt to show that she's enough, she steps into what? Masculine energy. So she's now the one doing, she's the one courting, she's the one proving, she's the one doing this, that. So what happens is when she steps into this masculine energy, the mirror has no choice but to step into feminine energy, because you can't have two masculine. And now with this person being in feminine energy, it's very stifling and it goes against their nature. She's also outside of her nature, because now she's out here proving, showing, doing, that it becomes a clash. Then people come to you, they, yo, Gogo, you know what? The person will say, I've fallen out of love. I don't feel attracted to this person and I don't know what's wrong. I used to really love this person, but right now I can't stand this person. When you break everything down, you realize that the energy dynamic changed. One had that, because in science, it's just tricky because of gender and all the politics around it. But scientifically, you have a positive pole and a negative one. So energy works like that, even in our relationships with people. One was a negative, one was a positive pole. And now the positive pole stepped into the negative. Now there are two negative poles. That means that the negative is going to be forced to either get into the positive pole, and if they don't, they're going to clash. So now it's like there's no attraction there, because it's like a clash, and then they repel. Now they are repelling each other and they don't understand. I don't understand why she repulses me so much, because I used to love this woman. I don't know what's going on.
I see it crystal clear with the wedding and the marriage. You know, like for example, with the wedding, bridezilla stuff. When now she's saying, let's go there, to see this dress, to see this wedding venue, and she's dominating. And your conditioning is that, well, women wanted weddings since they were 5 years old, it's fine, let her have. But now you're not getting what you'd like. You'd like your groomsmen, you'd like whatever you'd like, and you're not getting that because maybe there's a budget issue. So it's like, okay, let's let her have her thing. And what you were saying is so true, because now if the aggression is masculine, then you're cowering at this point, so she can have what she wants. But I felt like there's a habituation going on where she's now learning a new behavior, how to treat you, because you're saying, well, hey, it's your wedding, let me support you, take the leadership role. Maybe that diminishes the respect she has for you, and it goes into the marriage now, where it's like, wait, okay, now let's get the balance back of reciprocity. But she can't do it. She enjoyed that part too much, that 1 year of planning a wedding, the power she had, she's addicted to it now. And if you're not an aggressive man, you're gonna get walked all over. You know, and especially if you're me, I'm a guy who grew up in turbulent relationships. I don't like noise. I really, really don't like noise and the shouting and of course the physical stuff. So I won't shout back too much, you know? I'm the kind of guy, if you're arguing and you say, don't raise your voice at me, I say, well, I'm angry, and then I calm down immediately, you know? Or I say, I'm not shouting, but I stop, you know? Because I'm that respectful, I'm that sensitive to it. I used to snap on teachers in high school when they shout at me and say, shut up, Brian, and I'm not the only one talking, for example. I'd say, don't shout at me, or, you know, like the most polite kid would just flip on a teacher and the whole class is looking at me, because I don't like that. So it's easy for someone like me to get walked all over in all these different relationships, because I'm like, okay, they say a woman will want to dominate and control things. They're difficult, the relationships are difficult. This must be it. But I just start dying, you know, and then I just leave, because it's like, I can't live like this. I'm a dominant character. I know my thing. I'm a sportsman. You know, I played basketball. I was captain. I'm a point guard. I'm a midfielder. That's playmaker. Both of it is playmaker. That's what I am. I put things in position and things work. And here I am now being pulled by my nose and disrespected. And it's just, you know, but it's my fault. It's that overcompensation where I said, let me give her what she wants and maybe I'll get what I want, or I'll prove to her that I can give you what you want. And I think people don't understand that. They think, oh, he buys me flowers, he does this, he's a walkover, you know? Because you hear a lot of, you're better than other men, you're better than my ex, you treat me better than I've ever been treated. Almost every girl that said this to me. But then they turn on me, you know? So it's you explaining it just now, you know? It's very interesting.
It's just like an attraction thing where one pulls, the other one pushes, but it has to be a positive and a negative one, or else the repel is going to happen. And we never realize this, but the relationship that we have with ourselves, I feel like I learned this the hard way, because I was expecting other people to choose me, and I wasn't choosing myself. I wasn't choosing myself. I was hard on myself. I would be looking at problems. You failed at this, you're doing this. I was so mean to myself. And it felt normal, because I was like, it felt normal. And now it made it so difficult for other people to choose me, because you teach, oh yes, I have a wonderful analogy. So this one is with, so when we are born, right, we are taught how to treat ourselves based on how our parents treat us. So when our parents are giving us attention, they're loving us, they are everything, great. We learn how to love ourselves as babies, because babies are very self-important. They will cry 3 o'clock at night. They don't care if you're sleeping, right? So they know their importance in this world, and they don't doubt it for a second. And then as we grow up, somewhere along the way, we start learning and internalizing these things of, oh, we're not as important. There are other more important people in the world, or whatever the case might be. So now, as much as the child learns how to treat themselves from the parent, the relationships that we then have with other people, they learn how to treat us based on the way that we treat ourselves. So if I am hard on myself, everyone in my life is going to be hard on me. And they're not going to do it out of being spiteful and being mean. It just happens to be something I've taught them. I've trained them into that, because they will always look at how does she treat herself? And subconsciously it's like, oh, so this is how this person gets treated. This is how this person gets done. So when we're being very unkind to ourselves, when we say, I'm going to give this person everything that they want, and then I'm going to prove much later on that, hey, listen, here's the space that I occupy. Because that is very similar to saying that there's only one chair in this tray, right? And I'm going to give the chair to you. I don't have to sit. It's all right. I'll stand the whole 3-hour trip. That is very unkind. The world teaches us that that is selfless and it's good and it's necessary. But the loving thing to actually say in that space, there's one chair here. So you're going to have to sit on one bum and I'm going to sit on one bum. And then we both have a place to sit until the whole trip, or else we can both sit on the floor. So by being self-inclusive like that, the other person learns how to always include you. Because look at that pattern. Every single time that you're selfless, that other person, the message that they get subliminally is, oh, this person is not important. I'm more important. Oh, I get the chair. Oh, I get the this. And then after a while, they literally have this belief where they are not even counting you into things. They're not counting you into things because they know that Thembi's going to get here and then she's going to give me the money because she doesn't deserve the money. So I won't give it to her because I know how she's going to react. She doesn't deserve the chair. I deserve the chair.
Yeah.
That's the painful part about being self-serving. And I think being self-serving is very toxic because you're teaching people that you don't matter, that they matter more than you.
Self-sacrificing.
Self-sacrificing. Yeah.
Yes. No, I've done it a lot. I think I stopped when I was 30. I had this 3-year plan. Around the time I met you, 2014, everything was manifest. But then the cycle was beginning again of people just treating me. It was like, it changed to like a jealousy or a expectation, unrealistic expectations where, oh, you've made it. Now for me to love you, you gotta give me everything you've made. You know? Or you owe me this now. You've got this, I need some of it. Because whatever I've made in my life has always been reinvested. I have really big goals. So I'm not the kind of guy who blows the money. I mean, I'm nice to my girlfriends, but and my wife, I'm generous. But there's a big part of me, time-wise and money-wise, that has to invest. And you got a lot of people who don't like the fact that I've got to go read, I've got to go write. If I'm home, I've got to do things while I'm at home that don't involve you, include you. And that's another big challenge, but it's like this cycle. But yeah, you are giving me a lot right now. I'm really thankful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're giving all of us a free session. You're so wise. Thank you. I feel like there's a lot we're getting out of this. We're giving out of this to people, and I'm going to try and just cut it into snippets. Okay. But I want to thank you and just basically ask you to summarize any parting words, anything you'd like, any message to all of us, because you have a lot to say, and I trust you. I trust your words.
Okay. My parting words would be that you are your first and most important altar. All right. So before you fix your family, before you fix the world, before you save the world, you save yourself first. Okay. And once because the one thing that you've got control of is your own mind and your own self. You don't have control over somebody else's mind. So we change the world by changing ourselves. And that is the best thing, the best gift that you could do for yourself. Yes.
Right. I love that. I love that. Thank you so very much. And again, I just wanted to say, you're very important to me. Love you. Long time, like they say. And what I'm doing here is besides extracting love from you for all of us, is I'm showing I'm showing different kinds of love. And I have different kinds of love in my life, different kinds of woman love in my life. We deal with so much jealousy from our spouses. And now that I'm in a relationship, I must get rid of Thembi, I must get rid of this person. And I'm trying to end that. I think those are the root causes of this abuse thing, because now when I see you, next time I see you and I'm with my woman, I'm still running up to you and hugging you, I hate the fact that you'll be nervous. I'm generalizing now. You'll be nervous. You look at me, and when you decide if you should just walk past like you don't know me or wave, and it's like, just come love me, you're my sister. And we don't have that. We've even lost that as a society. And I just think it's not cool. So part of my thing is so multifaceted. It's just love, love, love. You cannot come to my funeral and cry and say you love me as a married woman, you're there with your husband saying, I love this guy, but you couldn't tell me when I was alive because he would have been jealous. Your husband should know you love A, B, C, you love that man, that man. You may have history with some of them. You may not have any kind of physical or romantic history, but you love all these different people. But you're with him in that way. And it's necessary, because if you love people, you're not going to hurt people. There won't be corruption. There won't be people stealing money out of what should be for child welfare. Roads, we have potholes now because people aren't finishing the roads. They're underpaying the people. It's love, you know? So yeah, I could go on and on. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. It's really exciting.
Thank you, and we'll stay in touch, but thank you very much, and take good care and be warm. It's very cold today.
I will.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
You have to get out because I don't know how to get out of here.
Okay, I will do that. Bye-bye.
Bye.